everyone, welcome to Dragon's Dogma, and in this video I'm explaining Rift Crystals and how they work in the game. Rift Crystals are a currency system that you can use to buy things from Jonathan in the encampment, but mainly to hire other pawns. The key to this is when you start the game, make sure that you select online. Do not ever select offline when you start this game, otherwise your pawn, here we go, yes, our pawn can never be hired out if we're offline. It's not available to anybody, so we don't ever want to click offline when we start the game. Okay, so we're going to go have a look at how to get into your options too. So say if you're in the middle of the game and you go, oh, well, shit, I don't know if my character's online or offline, my character's available. We go into our options menu just like this. Options, go up, with your right button across to gameplay, go to main pawn, online access, anyone. Pick anyone, not friends only, not no one, but anyone. And make sure our connectivity is online anyway. So those need to be done. If you're not getting any Rift Crystals, it's either because you're offline or your character is not geared appropriately for anybody to bother hiring them. Okay, so that's sorted out. Your options are set and well to go. So I'm going to jump across right now to the Rift and how we're going to get off that. Jump across to the Rift and go in there and see how the Rift Crystal system works. If your friends play Dragon's Dogma, regardless of their level, you can hire them for free. Now, I'm going to jump across the adventure log. I'll show you how many Rift Crystals I've got at the moment, 3.4 million. I've obtained 6.3 million over the whole game. Most of those are from my pawn being hired out. They're not being, really picked up, more so just in gameplay, besides my pawn picking them up by being hired too. So the pawn gets them for their adventuring, and they get them if someone actually, a stranger, pays to hire them out. So we're talking to Assalam right now. I'm going to rest, and this is at the time where you get to see who's hired your pawn out, when you rest at the inn. So we're doing that now, and what's going to happen is a message is going to pop up in the middle of the screen now with a clicking noise, clunking noise, clunk. Here it comes. Oh, yeah. And when we close it, your follower has come back, and here's a clunk, and then we get the screen of people who have hired our pawn. So they can give you items. Sometimes they don't even bother giving you items. That's the appearance, battle rating, and helpfulness. People rate you on your appearance. Now, to me, I rate people not just how pretty they look, but I go by their gear. If they've got great gear, I'm not going to be a dickhead and give them, 1 star or things like that. Silly. The default stars are 3. So the etiquette is, if you have had a decent experience with your pawn, you don't be a dickhead and just give them, a piss poor, especially if you've had them for a really long time. It's just rude and lazy and silly to me. So, yeah, the default is 3 stars, and if you've had a good experience with them, give them 5. Especially if they're friends, for crying out loud, because it changes their ranking in the system, and it makes their pawn get hired more. So it's just common sense to me. So in regards to appearance, like for example, my pawn was wearing the Duke's armor. It's actually quite awesome. But people went, oh, that's just costume, so it's not very good. Well, think again. So here is my character. It's all the items are dragon forged. You can't really get much better items than this. So really, you can't get any better than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the Rift right now. We'll just have a chat to him because we need to. We're going to go down the Rift, and I'm going to show you how the hiring system quickly works with the pawns, and how the Rift Crystals work, and how much pawns cost to hire. Now, the secret to this game, if you're starting out, is to befriend somebody that has a really decently built pawn, which is they've got their character decked out in great armor, and they're going to help you. That way, if you befriend them, add them to your friends list, which I'll show you in a minute, you'll never have to pay to hire them ever, as long as they remain in your friends list. That's why when you look here, I'm in here, I'm going to have a whole bunch of people that are my friends, and a lot of them have added me. I don't know who they are. A lot of them have added me because they wanted free pawn. free pawn. So I'm releasing my buddy here. I'm not going to bother giving him stuff because they've got everything in the world. Give them a decent star rating, which is polite. You could, if you're going to give somebody something, give them something decent like a fairy stone, not something dumb like, you know, rotten fish and rank fish or whatever. It's just silly. It's really silly and doesn't make a lot of sense. Also, you'll probably find level relative characters in the Rift too, which will be your level, and you'll be able to hire them. So these are all people that are my friends at the moment, and sometimes, yeah, like I said, you'll see people that aren't your friends that are just level relative. You start out. So I'm going to show you what happens when you walk up to one of these people. You can inspect them basically, walk up to them, inspect the character. We're going to go across. We see they're level 30. We're going to be able to see their spells. Personally, level 30, I don't think I would have unless I was a tank. I would possibly I would like to have a mage as my sidekick. If I was a mage, I would prefer to have all my sidekicks as fighters or warriors myself. I don't really see the value in a sorcerer at early levels, but some people like to play that and they like to have fun with it. So we look at their armor and weapons. As you can see, there's a dragon forged item there, silk lingerie, polo mask. There's been a bit of gifting in this particular character. As you can see, they're level 30. The abysmal coat from the Ur-Dragon is something not achieved by level 30. So you can give to people awesome stuff, masks, you know, outfits and things like that for sure. And that makes the character even better. So that's how it works there. We can go inspect anybody and have a look at their skill set, what they've selected. Don't forget that warriors only have primary skills, a two-handed weapon. We're going to go into here and have a look at the top-ranked people. They're all Lord of the Rings characters. Something funny going on there because a lot of them are level 30, so bit of a curiosity, that one. So we can go through the top ranked people. We can see what they're using. We can see how much they cost to hire out. As you can see, people that have that infinity symbol are level 200. That's capped at that level. So if you're wondering what that symbol meant, that means that they're been to level 200 and plus. So, and it stops there. So we're going to search characters that aren't our friends and how much they cost. So that's how much the Rift Crystals cost to hire these people out. The closer to your level they are, the cheaper they're going to be. So if I pick someone that's 104, it's going to be free. It's going to be, you know, level 105 and beyond, it's going to be a bit more every single level. So if I pull out 140, level 140 character, that's how much it's going to cost me to hire them out. So that's a really good reason to befriend people that are really well built with their characters. And the secret to and also you can select what gender you want them to be and what class you want them to be, just to cut down the bullshit. My hints and tips on making how I got my 6 million Rift Crystals is just to make a character that's built well for the game. So my character at the moment, my sorcerer, because I am a magical archer at the moment, my character's a sorcerer because I like to have her around at end game. You don't, in my opinion, you don't need a mage at end game. You're powerful enough to do everything, you know, without that. So that's why I've got a sorcerer at the start of the game. It's better, in my opinion, to have a mage that can heal because the sorcerer cannot. So if you're in early levels and you have a source, you change your character to a sorcerer, I'd probably suggest changing it back to a mage because it's going to get hired out more by, you know, characters that are early levels. But if you're at end game, it's better to have a sorcerer so they can actually do damage because you're not going to be bothered about healing later on in the game. Let me tell you, it's just, you know, not healing you can't rely on a pawn to a mage to heal you all the time in late game because you can't control their character. So lots of people sort of don't understand my sorcerer character and why she's built in the way that she is. She's built for end game. I don't have fire affinity set on her because I don't find it super helpful late game. And people go, oh, where's my... People like to see bells and whistles, let me tell you. So if you've got a sorcerer and you want your pawn to be hired out a lot, it's probably a better idea to have, like, Maelstrom, things that people can see, like visual effects. It's like people going to the movies. They want to see stuff. And if they see a sorcerer just running around, to them it looks like you're running around doing nothing, and you know that your character's not, they need to visually see your character doing stuff. So I suggest pulling out, you know, the big stops and having fire, because people go, oh, fire, wow, look at that sorcerer going, she's doing so much, you know. But I don't build my character like that because I know that she can do so much more without looking like a fucking fireworks show. So that's my hints and tips. Make your character user-friendly, especially in the earlier levels. Make her a mace so she can heal. Make it a primary spell too, healing. Make her have a fire affinity early on. Just simple things like that people go, wow, I want this person again because, they seem to look like they helped me. And make sure that your armor's, up to scratch. People like to see stars, like to see Dragonforge things. That's how it works, and that's what they're basing their hiring on. So hopefully that sort of goes through Rift Crystals and things like that, and how to get your pawn hired out more and get the Rift Crystals that you want. So make sure you're online, make sure your pawn is well equipped and well sort of looked after skill-wise, and make sure all of those skills are filled out. The secondary ones also, unless you're a warrior and you don't get that. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. In regards to Rift Crystals and why you're not getting them, and that's the answer why. So thank you for watching. Hope this helps, and have a good day, and I'll talk to you next time.